From Wembley down to every town, the roar is rising now. Red and white beneath the lights, hear the whole world sing aloud.
From the streets of London town to the flags in every hand, dreams are burning brighter now. Football's coming back again.
Oh, raise the banners to the sky.
Hear the nation come alive.
Side by side, we stand as one tonight. Three Lions of 2026.
Hearts on fire, we won't give in.
Through the thunder and the noise,
England marching with one voice.
Three Lions of 2026.
Feel the passion deep within.
Every city, every street.
Hear the whole world move its feet.
England, England,
Oh,
we've dreamed these nights 1,000 times.
now the moment's here.
Generations standing proud.
With hope instead of fear.
From the pubs to packed out fan zones,
Voices echo far and wide.
one more chance to write the story.
With the nation unified.
Raise the banners to the sky.
Hear the nation come alive.
Side by side, we stand as one tonight. Three Lions of 2026.
Hearts on fire, we won't give in.
Through the thunder and the noise,
England marching with one voice.
Three Lions of 2026.
Hear the roar across the land.
From the young to old alike.
England shining through the night. Football's coming home.
And good evening, everybody. Apologies for the long intro. It's the only way I could keep this guy next to me quiet.
Oh, come on, you love it. You love it. I've been winding you up all day. Although saying that, I
There
have.
is. Can somebody please type in quickly? Go on to an encyclopedia or something online and copy and paste what the word busy means.
I've learned AI today. I tell you what. Well, no, I've known about AI for a long, long period of time. But my word, it is magic, isn't it? You know. Yes, it's been fun. Put nicely.
I'm sure it has, and of course you don't need any sort of payment for that like you do for Pornhub, do you? You can make your own up.
You can. Exactly.
You know.
But yeah, how
Anyway.
you doing, mate?
I'm doing all right, thank you very much. Welcome along. This is a joint production here.
Yes.
LTID TV and Up the Cherries in all departments. I give it its full name because I can't remember what the UTCIAD.
No, that's a sexually transmitted infection. It's UTCIAD.
You would know. That's why I read it out in its full. Up the Cherries in all departments. I tell you what, these old folk of Bournemouth, they know how to get these chants going, don't they? But welcome along to both channels. This is the preview for the World Cup. We'll be doing this. We'll be doing the daily diary, if you like, most days, or it should really be called the Most Day Diary, shouldn't it? Really, and we'll be at quick, brief ones, which is apparently how your missus says she used to. So quick, brief ones, and this one is going to be a little bit longer because we are going to preview. Now, let me start by asking you a question.
Go on.
Do you like 12 inches?
12 inches. This is such a weird way to start. I guess I am in the boudoir today,
Yes.
you know, where the magic happens. As you can tell,
And if you
the change of
think
scenery.
he's sat there with a smile on his face, is because he's suddenly just discovered he's sat on his wife's dildo.
Well, in fact, I have got some, you know, interesting pictures. Actually, this artist is brilliant. Chris Guest. There we are. Very, very, very nice.
What I know about art comes out my arse as a fart. Morning, afternoon, evening,
You've
Nate.
learned something
Also,
today. Hello, Nate. You all right?
should I? You asked me some absolutely weird questions. Should I know the artist?
You do now. It's like they think it's all over. It is now. You do now. You know, hopefully, fingers crossed, at the end of this World Cup, it will be the same scenario. We think it's all
What,
over.
we
It is
will
now.
lose.
World champions again. You know, how many times have we been saying that? 60 years now, isn't it?
I would. It has. It has been
You can
60
probably
years.
remember it. I can't. I wasn't. I was not even a bubble.
You were. If only your dad had had a wank instead.
Oh,
Saying,
such a twat. Such a
oh,
twat.
oh, if only your mother had kept her legs crossed.
Oh, for God's sake, Chris,
Anyway,
you dirty sod. Right.
welcome
I tell you what,
along.
well, what was you asking me about 12
Well,
inches?
let me just say hi to Blue Fox and must wonder what he's just walked into. Host Nation Canada. Good luck, mate. Good luck. I was asking if you liked a 12-inch because you can get a foot long at Subway, can't you?
Yeah, I do like those footlongs. You know, what one do you go for? I go for the old, what's it called? The steak one.
I go for
Oh,
this
now
one.
you're talking. Now you're talking. Hang on, hang on. Margot Robbie.
It was her first job.
Was it?
Was handling 12 inches in Subway.
God, bloody
I
hell!
don't think she quite remembers it that way.
I wish I went to that Subway.
I bet you
Bloody
did.
hell!
You know,
Yes.
normally when you go to a restaurant, you complain if they get the thumb in the soup. Other problems for Marco at Subway. Just tell you that. Right,
Yes.
shall we?
But
Well,
no, for anybody who doesn't know, Margot Robbie is like goddess.
yes,
Yes.
it makes Craig feel like Arsenal. He has a midweek semi,
Mm.
basically.
So
So
yeah, that's mine. You know, of course, Chrissy's is more Sherry Blair.
now I was thinking Margaret Thatcher, to be honest with you.
Oh dear, Margaret Thatcher.
Give me a bit of Maggie anytime. That's
Bit of
what I would
Maggie.
say.
Well,
Tell you what,
Maggie.
when she had that dominatrix gear on, there was nobody better.
No.
Allegedly,
I tell you
allegedly.
what, politics has gone right downhill in the past couple of years, hasn't it? Now we're left with
Well,
some
talking of
dickhead.
politics, that absolutely leads me into. I'm going to start with two bits of news before we get into the details.
Hmm.
I mean, what the hell? I mean, look,
Yeah.
Infantana is so far up Trump's arse anyway.
Yeah.
His head comes out of Trump's mouth. I
Yes.
mean, only Infantano, and I thought Sepp Blatter was bad, but Infantano, you are worse than Sepp Blatter. Who the hell gives Sepp Blatter? Gives Donald Trump
Peace
an
prize.
award for giving peace. I mean, that's nothing to do with football.
I know. You know, the, right, Chris. This is the thing that pisses me off with FIFA is that they say that no players and no fans and no managers can make political statements, and then they go and do that. Give
Yeah,
the man that's attacking. You know, let's be honest. The UAE, a place I really love going to, is that you
yeah.
know,
Just put it all
peaceful,
over body search.
peaceful, a well-meaning nation, looks after its people, no issues, absolutely no issues. Donald Trump starts, doing this, that, and the other with Iran, who he's now banned from a competition,
Correct.
and all hell breaks loose. Of course, we could go into other contributors of that, but
Well, let me
it's a
just
bloody joke.
let me just suffice that with it is actually FIFA that has withdrawn Iran's official supporter ticket allocation,
Why?
not
Why?
Donald
It's
Trump. Now, Donald Trump may have had something to do with it, don't get me wrong, but it's actually FIFA that has done that. I mean, it is just as allegedly corrupt as it was under allegedly Sepp Blatter. I'm saying allegedly here because FIFA got
yeah.
a lot of lawyers. I mean, if you ever wanted, when if you ever worked for FIFA and you wanted to get up, to the next higher level, of course, you did have to use the Sepp ladder.
Dear, oh dear. But
Um,
the
federations
point still
normally receive,
persists.
yeah, federations normally receive 8% of stadium capacity. Iranian Federation says supporters can no longer obtain tickets through official channels, and I think those tickets that have been bought have been cancelled. Look, I'm going to say this from my personal point of view.
Mm,
I have a one of my daughter's boyfriends is Persian, so he's got family and what have you out in
yeah.
Iran, and he does not like the regime that is over there at the moment.
Yes.
That said, and I was exactly the same when it was apartheid. It is hurting the people. It doesn't hurt the government at all.
No.
It hurts the people. And why should the people be punished?
Do you know what? Very, very good point. And Jamie Ike said exactly the same to me the other week. It's, governments come and go. Governments come and go. This Iranian regime will come and go.
Mm,
Donald Trump will come and go. Keir Starmer will hopefully go as soon as possible, but he will go eventually, because he is making a right fuck up of the country. I'll say no more. You can send hate mail if you're a Labour supporter to me. Not a problem at all. But in all honesty, it is like you say, hurting the people, and like Jamie even said, we even go into the realms of Russia. Vladimir Putin will eventually go. You know, so banning a whole country for starting a war, you know, it might seem as just, but at the same time, it's only hurting the athletes who have done nothing wrong. It's hurting the everyday people in Russia who have done nothing wrong. And if you watch some things like Inside Russia, you will actually realise that they don't like it. And you can compare that with the situation in the US. I'm pretty sure there's people out there who saying, well, if Russia's banned, why is the US and Israel not banned as well?
well,
I'm just playing devil's advocate. I'm
yeah,
not
no,
saying anybody should be banned or shouldn't be banned, but
before this turns into a party political broadcast on behalf
yes,
of the Craig Beazley party, and let's be honest with you, Eurovision wanted to
mm,
ban Israel. A lot of countries pulled out because of Israel, but it
yeah,
shouldn't. It is not. It is hurting the people that don't deserve to
mm,
be hurt. Has banning Russia from the World Cup and the Euros made any difference? No.
no,
Has doing sanctions on Russia made any difference? No. And I think this move here
mm,
to say that they're supposed to be calling this the most inclusive World Cup ever is absolutely what they're doing is
yeah,
I mean the Iranian players have to play all their games in America because of the way the cup draws come out, but they've got to
yeah.
live also got to live, but they're staying in Mexico because America won't let them stay in America.
They've got no chance. I know that they had no real chance before they even went to the World Cup because,
Yeah.
let's be honest, Iran, small nation, well, not a small nation really, but it's not really a footballing nation.
No, but
You don't
they could have a
expect them
good
to do
run.
well.
But
But
to
yeah,
say
they could go on a good
if
run,
you're going to make them stay in Mexico, give them
play
the
all the
games
games
in
there.
Mexico.
Yeah, exactly. The
No.
Mexicans said that they were happy to host the games there, but
Mm,
FIFA and um, Infantino are just so shallow-minded that
mm,
I do feel a little bit sorry for their fans. And this is an absolute shambles. I said to Jamie Ike the other day, I said, "Is this a World Cup?" Because World Cups are meant to unite people. Football were meant to unite people. Believe it, in World War II, on Christmas Day, the English and the Germans got together and had a football match. 364 days we're shooting the hell out of each other, but they had a football match against each other. I think, was it World War One or Two?
It
I
was
might be
World
wrong.
War One. World War Two.
Well,
Any lightness of friendliness went out
yeah,
the window. I mean, Nate's
yeah,
just said there. Iran was actually supposed to be hosted here in Tucson, Arizona, which is where Nate
yeah.
is from. Look, I must admit, I guess if we were hosting the World Cup, I wouldn't particularly necessarily fancy Iran being hosted in Bournemouth. Because it would worry me. I
Hmm.
mean, you could have Turkey or Syria or those countries that would feel at home here, but mind you wouldn't be able to get a fucking hotel because they're all full of immigrants. But that's another story for another day. But yeah, but apparently this guy has got. I mean, they're saying it's the most inclusive World Cup ever, but this guy has
Far from
got
it.
apparently been linked with terrorism.
Uh, this is far from the most inclusive World Cup ever.
Mm.
Um, you know, if that is true, why did FIFA not do something about it beforehand? Don't get me wrong, if that is true, there's every right for, the US or wherever to stop. I'd expect him to be stopped from the UK, I'd expect him to be stopped wherever. But to do it so close to a tournament, um, it's feeling like, to be honest, the World Cup in Russia, 8 years ago was more inclusive than this one, because it seems that a World Cup's meant to be to unite everybody together. That's what it's meant to be there for, not exclude people.
Yeah.
You know, don't get me wrong. After the World Cup's been gone, people go back to wherever. But come on, we need to use a little bit of common sense. Sport
Yeah.
should be used for good,
I
not
mean, the
for
problem
bad.
the problem I have is if this guy has got links to terrorism, then I understand him being banned. However, why did they only just discover that now? So close to the World Cup.
Well,
They don't know
FIFA.
that these things are going. The referees are going to be for ages.
Surely FIFA have got a database, and FIFA wouldn't have put him forwards if that was proven. You know, um, the only people, and I can tell you what's going to happen with this story is we will hear no more about it. We won't know either way. You know, it would be good for FIFA to actually explain the stance and explain,
Yeah.
we've made a mistake. This is true. But I think it'll probably just disappear into obscurity and we'll never hear about it again. But yeah, like
He
it
was
says at
the
the bottom there.
first. He was the first Somali referee to reach FIFA's international referee list. Apparently, he's the best referee in Africa. How true that is, I don't know. But it's just I just think like, come on, guys, this World Cup's been. I mean, I understand why they go
Mm,
to these World Cups. I mean, why they've gone to Mexico for the third time, I don't know. But then they've gone to Canada for the first time, and the idea with the World Cup,
yeah,
even with Qatar, when we look, the way they won it was we know it was allegedly fixed, but
yeah,
at least people in Qatar got the chance to see the World Cup. And this is what you want to do. You want it to go to countries that haven't
mm,
hosted it before. The problem is that when you try to spread the world of football, which is what, in fairness, FIFA are trying to do,
yeah,
it's okay saying, right, we want, I don't know, the Ivory Coast to host it. Thing is, the Ivory Coast couldn't afford to host it. America couldn't afford to host it, which is why it's sharing it with Canada and Mexico. Taking three countries.
mm. You say that the Ivory Coast couldn't afford it. I can tell you what, most of these countries could afford it, but they can't afford to keep the normal everyday person going. They will pump money into it, and will those countries see the benefit of it? Let's be fair, and I know this is going to sound very controversial. Let's look at South Africa. South Africa hasn't really benefited from having the World Cup in 2010.
nobody benefits. Nobody benefits at all. I told you the story about South Africa the other day, I think, didn't I?
Yeah.
You know, when I was, went to see the ghetto, Soweto, which is where Nelson Mandela and his wife. I
Mhm.
don't know if you've ever read Nelson Mandela's autobiography, but my God, he must have hated his wife when he wrote that chapter called Winnie the Pooh. Anyway, the fact that next to Soweto, if you turn from there to there, you go from Soweto and the townships and
Yeah.
two-room houses that have got 10 people living in them to an abandoned World Cup final stadium that's covered in graffiti and weeds. It doesn't spread the football world word. And
No.
all right, yes, you could say they could afford it, but that's not because the country's doing well. It's because the people that run the country are taking that money and taking it out the mouths of people that sort of live there.
Yeah.
Look at the old Shah before all this happened in Iran, as rich as anything, but people were starving in the country. So, yeah, it is an awkward one. I mean, Qatar, for example, was supposed to be allowing. They said, "Yeah, give us the World Cup and we'll allow drinking for the month."
Yeah.
What
No, that
happened
was never
two
going to
weeks
happen. That was never
before
going
the
to
World Cup? They said no, you can't drink in this
You
country.
know, to be honest, when I've been out to the
Oh, it
UAE,
is.
you can drink, but you can't be drunk in a number of Emirates. For example,
Difficult
Dubai,
then.
you need to buy a license to actually buy alcohol. Abu Dhabi, you can buy alcohol for consumption. You couldn't go down the street swinging a can, no,
Mm.
not at all. But you can drink, but you can't be drunk. If you're drunk, then you can get arrested, and of course, that's serious. In the Emirate of Sharjah.
Just ask
Sharjah,
Katie Price's husband.
in the Emirate of Sharjah, you can't drink at all. It is dry, and Qatar is very much dry. So I was not surprised. But to be honest, and to give the Qataris their benefit, what I think it was quite well organised in the end, and also it provided probably, and you might disagree with me on this. Okay, we're saying 1966 is our best moment, but in my lifetime, the best, most exciting World Cup final has to be that 2022 one, because it was bloody brilliant. It was a bloody brilliant watch, that.
I mean,
um
I have no problem with a country being dry. That is their country. I'm a great
mm,
believer with the saying "when in Rome."
yeah.
If they want, but then FIFA should be thinking, well, hang on, I mean, one of their main sponsors was Budweiser, and they pulled out because it was a dry tournament,
Yeah, but
and
I haven't got a problem with the non-alcohol part of things.
no, I don't. But then don't expect Budweiser to pour millions into supporting the World Cup.
No,
Like, can't buy
very true.
Budweiser, you know.
They're going to be
Anyway, shall we
pumping
get
money
back
into
and
this.
look at the 2026 World Cup?
Yeah, but like you say, this is an utter shambles. It should have been done well beforehand.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
US has banned number of. It's not just Iran, a number of teams' fans. So Haiti can actually play in the US, but their fans can't be in attendance.
I don't
There is
think
a
the
number of.
Haitian fan, as a member of the general public, could afford it anyway. But look, let's move on.
Yeah, this
Move on
is yeah.
before we list every country. Now, this is the groups. Now, we did do sort of a prediction show the other night, which
Yes.
seemed to go on for. Um,
Yeah.
uh, now,
The
this is
playoffs are
out
in
of
there.
date as well because I've got playoffs in there, and
Yes.
it's all shit. But
Silly sausage.
it's because no, this is AI for you. But look, would you say in there is a group of death at all?
Yes.
Okay, which one would you say?
The one Scotland's in. I think that's a horrible group. Group I is not particularly easy as well. France, Senegal, Norway. I'm trying to think of who else is in there. And in all honesty, we haven't had, a lot of people are saying, oh, this is an easy group. I don't think particularly that this is an easy group that we've got. Croatia are decent. I think Ghana are decent.
No, I agree. Um, what explain to me why you think the Scotland group is a group of death?
Brazil are going to be very, very strong. I
Yeah,
don't think they're going to win it. Don't get me wrong. I don't
no,
think Brazil are going to win it. I don't think they're the best team in the world. I think they're quite some way from it. I would actually question whether or not Brazil are better than England, which is me sticking my neck on the line there. But um, Brazil won. Morocco are a dark horse. They really are a
the my
dark
dark horse.
horse.
Yeah, yeah.
They're going to be dangerous. You know what they did at the last World Cup in Qatar, was impressive. They've always seemed to do quite well at the African Cup of Nations. They're going to be very, very, very good. Um, Scotland, I think are going to really benefit from their experiences over the past couple of years. I think that they're going to be battling to get out of that group. And, everybody says that Haiti are the whipping boys. I watched them against New Zealand, and then I watched England against New Zealand. Put nicely, you know, if you said which country is higher up in the world, I know they're both friendlies. I know we rotate the team a lot. We've got every right to do that, and Haiti probably played a bit more of a fixed team. But you would say Haiti are actually right up there at the top of top of football.
No,
I
no,
thought they were
because
impressive. I thought Haiti
that's
were
like me
impressive.
saying New Zealand held us to a 1-0, and therefore New Zealand are going to do it well in the World Cup. It is
No, they're
totally,
not. New
you know.
Zealand. New Zealand. I'm not being horrible to them. I hope they do well because I quite like New Zealand, but
But
I
you can't
don't
say
think they're going
not
to be.
when New Zealand have held England fourth in the world to just losing 1-0, and we were lucky to get that win. You can't say that they're not going to do well then because Haiti had one friendly win that they're certainly going to be in the quarterfinals.
Haiti humped them. Haiti humped them.
Yeah, but
Literally
come
humped
on.
them.
Yeah,
I think that group is going to be tougher, and I think Haiti. I might be wrong. I might be wrong, but I think Haiti are going to put up more of a fight than we think. I think the group that's probably the
well,
easiest to
let me
get
come
out
back to you
of.
on that one. We'll keep to it at one
Go on.
group at a time, otherwise we'll get lost. To be a group of death, you have to have four decent teams in there. You've got Brazil, who, whatever you say, look, they may have a bad run leading up to this World Cup, but they always seem to come good at the actual World Cup
Mm,
itself, don't they?
yeah,
Morocco, like you say, I mean, they're my dark horses for the World Cup. They did well in the last one. Let's be honest with you. I
yeah,
think they got through to the semis. Um, you've got two decent teams in there. Look, I'm sorry if anybody's watching here from Scotland. I have got you going through, but as a lucky third place finisher, you've only got
mm.
two decent teams in there, and one of them, like I say, isn't. Well, two of them aren't Haiti and Scotland. That's
I
to me. I don't think that is a group of death at all, in my opinion.
Yeah, my opinion. I think that's going to be a tougher group than you think. I think it's going to be a tougher group than you think. I think the easiest group to get out of is going to be Group E. I think Germany have got a piece of piss there, really. Um, you
Yeah,
know,
totally. Yeah,
yeah, I think the Ivory Coast are not what they were. They were a really good side when they had Drogba playing for them. I think, don't quote me on this. I don't think that they've done particularly well in many competitions recently. There was a spell, wasn't there, that they had a right wobble. Ecuador, they always seem to turn up and qualify for the competition, but they never really do anything. I remember when we played them, was it in 2006? And we played them in the round of the last 16, and to be honest, they were absolute toilet then, and I don't think they've got any better.
Mm.
Curacao, bit of an unknown. I think they'll be up for it. I think they'll put everything into it. I think they'll throw the kitchen sink at it. Is it going to be enough? You know, I'd like to see them go through because I really want to see their away kits. Which, by the way, Chris, I have purchased today. So
You've purchased every kit from when England get knocked out. You'll just see who's going to win and put their shirt on.
well, I tell you what.
Let's go through these groups one at a time.
Yeah,
because we're jumping all over the place. So, Group 1, Mexico, South Africa, South Korea, Czech Republic. To me, that is one of the stronger groups. That will be a difficult group to get out of. I think you've got 3 pretty decent teams. Mexico will always get through.
yeah.
South Korea could be a dark horse. The Czech Republic are strong. South Africa, unfortunately, I think will be the bottom team in this one.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think you're right there.
Group B, this has got to be one of the weaker groups, and I'm sorry whoever was in earlier from Canada, but you got Canada, Bosnia, Qatar, and Switzerland. I think I had Canada going through as the best third placed. I think you had them going through as second. I had as one of the better third placed teams for Canada. But I don't think that's going to be. I think if you're Switzerland, you're going like, yes.
Oh, it should be a walk in the park for Switzerland. I'm not being funny. Switzerland, should be able to get out of that with their eyes closed, in all honesty.
Yeah. Interesting to see how Qatar get on because, let's be honest with you, they hosted the World Cup, so they didn't even get through the group stage. I mean, there's only 2 home teams have ever done that before.
Yeah.
This is the first, only the second World Cup ever. So we'll see how they get on.
I think they'll do better. They'll put up more of a fight.
They got their heat, obviously, is on their side.
Yes, it was cut off.
Group C, you've got, we've talked about C, Scotland. Again, I've got you going through as the best third. I think Craig had you bottom there because he's having a love affair with Haiti at the moment. But I think that's a pretty straightforward.
I don't think it's a very good holiday destination, is it, Haiti?
No, it's the poorest country in the world.
Yeah, and also I think, unfortunately, they've had a lot of earthquakes, which has caused. Hopefully, fingers crossed, they can benefit enough and get themselves back on their feet through this competition because it seems like that they've had a bit of bad luck.
I don't think they will because they've been like that for 40 or 50 years. So I don't think one World Cup's going to do it. And of course, they've also allegedly got a very corrupt government. So Group D.
It's a bloody surprise.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
So have we.
The views of Craig Beazley are not necessarily those of LTID TV, but are 100% those of Up the Cherries in all departments.
Yes.
Group D, now this isn't the easiest of groups. Paraguay are going to be nobody's fool. The States, they're on home soil, they're getting better. Australia, I think will do quite well, and Turkey are perennial dark horses. Then we're back to Margot Robbie, aren't we?
I think, in all honesty, Turkey, are a decent outfit. I'd like to see Australia go through for Margot, but yeah.
Are you hoping they'll play 2 up front?
2 up front, yeah, exactly.
Is that Jordan? I think that might be Jordan, mightn't it? Yeah.
Putting in the shrimp on the baby.
Yeah.
That's an awful butchered Australian accent, isn't it? And I can't believe, actually, watched your shirt show the other night. Big plug there for you. And we did our shirt show. And I got to say I agree with Matt. I bloody agree with Matt. Well, we didn't review all bloody 48 of the bloody things. I got to agree with Matt. That Australian one is quite nice. That away Australian.
But if you started watching it and you wanted to check New Zealand, it starts A, B, C, D. You had a pretty good idea of where to jump to. But yes, do watch that, by the way, on both channels, both good shows.
Yes.
USA, I think we'll get through Paraguay, Australia, Turkey. Not a group of death,
Oh
but
God.
pretty hard. E, yeah, look, like, Germany, it would be the funniest thing since they last didn't qualify for Germany not to go through. I mean, Germany, leave your towels on the plane seats. You might need them.
No, not in a million years,
I
Chris.
think you're right. I think
Honestly,
you're right.
honestly, I think they will be banished from Germany if, say, for example, they don't go through, as quite clear winners of that group. Not in a million years.
Yeah,
So, yeah, there we are. There's
yeah.
my honest opinion.
No, I think you're right, of course. This probably could be quite a difficult group. Netherlands, Japan, Sweden, and Tunisia.
Mhm. Japan are no mugs.
No,
No
exactly.
mugs at all. And also, we want to see that stripy kit in Japan, which, again, I've ordered. So
Are you the United Nations of football shirts or what?
yes, yes. I've got the two Spanish ones actually.
Oh
I've got
God,
the Jamaica shirt as well, the Bob Marley inspired one, and I've also got a UAE shirt as well. Nice red number, lovely, lovely, lovely red number, of course, as well
I
as
don't
both
want
England
to know
shirts.
about your red numbers. Thank you very much.
Oh,
Talking of
and
which, you haven't commented on my shirt.
it's very nice. It's very
Mm.
nice. That's a mashup one, isn't it? And I like these mashup
It
ones.
is. I've no because I've forgotten I got it until I just went thinking, oh, what shirt am I going to put on? Fucking hell, I've forgotten I got that, and at least it fits me properly as well.
He's
My
losing
my
his
one of
fucking marbles.
yours doesn't fit me at all.
There's Chris losing
Um,
his marbles.
I lost a lot, I tell you. Um, right, here we go. So yeah, and at Sweden are still, again they're going to be nobody's fools. Tunisia, I think one of the stronger North African uh, teams.
Sweden are so lucky to even be there. If they didn't do so well in the Nations League, they wouldn't be there.
You're right, but there's a bit of luck goes with these. I mean, there's always the old thing is like when people say, "Oh yeah, well Gareth Southgate did well because he had an easy draw." That wasn't his fault. He didn't say, "Right, I want to play this team," and you play who you put up against. Um, but sometimes you need that bit of luck, don't you?
Yes, and I'm going to throw something out from the past here, and I want you to tell me if this is right, because of course, I was only 9 years old when this happened. Back in no, I was younger than 9 years old. It was 92. It was the 92 Euros. Denmark didn't even qualify for
No,
the European Championships, and they got in through the back door. Was it Yugoslavia or was it the Soviet Union that got removed? No, Soviet Union played under CIS, didn't they? I think, if I'm right in thinking, it was Yugoslavia that got removed. Denmark come in, and then Denmark went and bloody won the whole thing.
there's two examples of that, and I don't know what years they were, and I don't know what teams didn't qualify. Yugoslavia was one.
Yeah.
Greece got into the Euros and won them as well, and Denmark. I think they
Hmm.
both did it.
Did
And yeah,
Greece get through the back door? Did they?
they did.
No.
They did when they won it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. I
Oh, I
think
know.
you're
I know.
right.
I am.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
think about it.
CIS represented the Soviet Union.
Go on then. 10 points extra for saying what CIS stood for.
Oh, bloody hell! Do you know?
Yep.
Um,
I'll tell you. Otherwise, we'll be here all night. The Commonwealth of Independent States. So sometimes
mm,
sometimes you do need that bit of luck. And Sweden
yes,
might be there going, you know what, we're lucky to be here, let's just go for it. And if you've got that sort of attitude, that can take you a long way. Now,
and it was actually Yugoslavia that Denmark
Well,
replaced.
you right. I know
Yeah.
Yugoslavia was one of them because they were splitting up and everything.
Yes.
But and I think, as I'm not sure who it was when Greece did it. But Group G is Belgium, Egypt, Iran, New Zealand. You'd think that isn't particularly a hard group for Belgium. That's certainly not a group of death.
No, we'll
Uh,
see that beautiful away shirt, won't we?
oh, you and these fucking shirts. Can I
You'll
just say,
see that
everybody, if anybody's
beautiful away
watching, my sole purpose of being on this show is to keep cutting this guy short. Otherwise, we'd still be talking about
Chris,
Donald Trump.
you've got to say, honestly, that was in my top five. Spoiler alert.
I
That
can't
was in
even
my
remember
top
it.
five. You
I
know,
can't.
that Belgium, you can't remember the light blue and pink thing.
Oh, it was that one, was it? Oh, the
I
one.
think it's bloody
Oh,
beautiful.
I
It's
threw up
unique.
over it.
It's so sexy. It's
I threw up over
unreal.
it. Anyway, Spain, Cape Verde, Saudi Arabia, Uruguay. That
Well,
should be
Spain's
pretty much.
going to
We know
waltz
what
that
two are
in.
probably going to go through there.
Exactly.
France, Senegal, Iraq, Norway. France will have absolutely no problem. Although Senegal, I think, could possibly cause an upset there.
Yeah.
Group J: Argentina, Algeria, Austria, and Katie Price. I think Argentina, we know, will probably go through top. Not a particularly different group of
No.
death there. K: Portugal, Congo, Uzbekistan, and Colombia. Portugal and Ronaldo must be thinking, "Thank you, God. Probably my last World Cup, and you're giving me a reasonably easy group." Uh,
Colombia's not easy though.
no, but when you look at Congo and Uzbekistan as a whole group, it's not going to be difficult.
Congo, to be
No,
honest,
no, no. Oh
super
my
good.
God, hang on, everybody. He's watched a friendly.
No,
He's
no, no,
watched
no,
a friendly,
no,
and Congo are going to win the World Cup.
no. I was going to say there was a supercomputer that simulated, the World Cup several times over, and if England finish top of our group, which hopefully we will do, the Democratic Republic of Congo is our most likely last 32 game.
Right.
That's what the supercomputer said. It come up about, I think they did it about 100 times, and it come up about 25 or something.
Right.
So that's very possible. They will
It
be a
is,
third place
but
team.
I still don't think it's a particularly difficult group. You would say
Yeah.
England and Croatia should go out. So to me, the strongest group there is right back up at Group A, which is Mexico, South Africa, South Korea, and Czech Republic. As in the four teams that are in the group being pretty much not, it's not like
Mm.
Brazil and Uzbekistan. All those four are sort of around the same sort of standard.
I can see where you're going with that. I think Mexico probably still walks through that, but I'm going to stick with Group C. Is going to be a right thriller, that one, and I think that people are writing off Haiti, and I think they're writing off Scotland already. The Scottish could get a result against Brazil or Morocco. They are more than capable. Steve Clark, he is, whenever you listen to him, he's a bit of a twat, but at the same time, I think he's a very, very good manager.
Well,
Um,
I just say, if anybody is watching from Scotland, I know it's part of the United Kingdom, but I personally, I have got them going through. And I said this to Doug, who did the shirt show, who is Scottish. I hope Scotland crash and burn because they would say
no,
exactly the same. They would say exactly the same about us. I cannot stand Scotland. Why would I want Scotland to win?
so we can put them out in the last 32 or the last 16. That'd be so
But,
funny.
but let's say we get knocked out. Would you suddenly then go and say, "Oh, come on, Scotland, win the World Cup"?
No, I'd probably bury my face for the next, 4 years.
Yeah. Chris, hi Chris, how you
Hello,
doing?
Chris. You all right, mate?
And Nate says, I think Uzbekistan could get out of the group.
That no,
Uh,
hold on a second. That isn't the most ridiculous of things because again, Uzbekistan, if you look at what they've done, haven't got a bad record at all in qualifying.
they might
Uzbekistan,
get through. Probably, if they do go through, it'll be as third place behind Portugal and Colombia. You would think. You
you
would
never
think.
know. I think there's going to be I think there's going to be some surprise packages in this. You bet my word. You bet my
We hope
word.
so, because it'll make it more exciting. How
Yeah.
exciting was watching Morocco get to the semis last year? Very good, and I loved to see the
Mm,
likes of Congo, Kiraku, and all those sort of smaller countries being there. Cape Verde, smallest country ever at a World Cup. Love it,
yes.
love it, love it.
Yeah. Oh,
But
by the way, I have ordered the Cape Verde shirt, even though I do find it quite boring. It's one of those shirts that's just going to be rare, to be honest. And also, I quite like their badge. It's got like a shark on it. I think it's quite good.
um,
Oh, how much have I spent? So fucking stupid.
you must be up to about 300 quid, mustn't you?
Yeah, bloody hell.
Um, well, I've just asked AI to do a supercomputer thing for me.
Oh,
Um,
oh, Chris has got the old supercomputer out now.
Now, yes,
You watch, it's not going to put DR Congo against
it
us
says
now.
here thousands of tournament simulations have been run by Optus' famous football supercomputer, and according to the numbers, the favourites to lift the trophy this summer are Spain, who come out on top of around 16% of simulations.
No
Close
surprise.
behind, here you go, close behind are France, England, and defending champions Argentina, all of whom are given strong chances of going all the way. Portugal are
Mm,
also rated among the leading contenders. Brazil are surprisingly further down the list than fans might expect.
yes.
Supercomputer makes Spain the only nation with better than a 50-50 chance of reaching the quarter-finals. As for England, the numbers suggest another deep run is possible, although manager Thomas Tuchel has been keen to play down the talk of his side being favourites. I don't think you can call us favourites at all. Right.
Mm,
Okay. So I have now asked it to give England's possible route to the World Cup final. If England win Group L, one of the best third place teams, possibly DR Congo, like you said, Algeria,
yes.
Senegal, Saudi Arabia, or Ivory Coast, could be our opponents. None of those really should scare us. Possibly Senegal. Were they the
Mm.
ones that beat us recently? I think they might be. So that's who we'd get. So by finishing top, you don't even play a second place one, which is good. That
Well, it depends. It does depend on, there is so much maths that goes into it. If, say, for example, group A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H are all the strongest third place finishers, there's a particular order. So we could play a second place team, but it is more likely we'll play a third place team. And if you want my honest opinion, of
no,
who I'd like
maybe
from
not.
those. I'd probably, do you know
Sorry.
what? I'd probably want either Algeria or Saudi Arabia. I think those two, I
Yeah.
think Algeria particularly are quite weak.
To me, out of those, Senegal is the one I would fear. If we
Yes,
get past there, and these are all obviously depending on results, if we get past those, whoever we get in the round of 32, our last 16 likely opponent is Mexico City. Mexico City, sorry, Mexico in Mexico City.
should be able to get past that.
Potential quarterfinal, Brazil. Semi-final, potentially Argentina or Portugal.
Yeah.
Or final, it could then be Spain, France, Germany, or Belgium from the opposite side of the draw. I mean, if we're going to
Mm.
win it, you can't say we've got an easy draw there, can you?
No, I actually envisage that we would play Brazil in the quarterfinals, actually, and I think that will be the litmus test, see how far we've come. If we beat Brazil, then, I think the whole country will be able to start believing that we can go all the way.
Yeah.
Avoiding Spain is probably the best thing that, could happen. To be honest, you never know. You never know. France might knock Spain out, and France might get knocked out by Germany because, these sort of things happen. I honestly think though Spain are the most dangerous in this tournament. They've got the most quality. If you compare 2010 to now, I think their teams. I think the team in 2010 was a little bit better, but I don't think it's miles away. I
No.
think Spain are a danger.
Those are the dates. The group stages will take place starting tomorrow with Mexico and running through to the 27th of June. Then the 28th of June to the 3rd of July, it's the round of 32. The round of 16 from the 4th to the 7th of July. Semi finals, 14th to 15th of July. Sorry, quarterfinals, 9th to 11th. Sorry, semi finals,
Mm.
14th to 15th. Third place playoff will be on July the 18th. And the final is on July the 19th.
Mhm.
Look, we obviously, we go back, and I have been watching. It's two videos that have been split up into part one and part two, but it is 60 years of hurt, as we said earlier,
Yeah.
since we won it. And tell you what, it was a really, really good video. I didn't realise, although he won us the World Cup, how bad Sir Alf Ramsey was. And I'd got in my mind that one of our best managers was
Mm.
Bobby Robson. Mate, far from it, far from it. But I'm going to ask you this, because look, people differ on Gareth Southgate. I think he was a fantastic manager. I think where he took us from where we were was amazing. Okay,
Mm.
he could have maybe taken us that step further if he'd done different things. We will say
Yeah.
that about even if we win this one, somebody's going to say, well, Thomas Tuchel should have played that guy because he's got bigger balls than that
Mm.
other guy, or his legs are hairier. It's always going to happen. But I think Southgate did a very good job for us. Following on from Southgate, though,
Mm.
where would you say England would finish for Tuchel to be classed as a failure?
You have to think that like the standards being set now. you know, the razzmatazz of all those years back, where, everybody expected us. The 2006, actually, that's a really good documentary as well that is on ITV, I believe it is, if my memory serves me correctly. And it speaks about, Baden and, like the players didn't get on with each other. The Wags did. They got very, very pissed. But,
And I was suddenly gone down a Craig turnoff here. Let me pull you back to the topic.
But no, the point I'm making here is that the standard has been set. These players do get on with each other. These players do work well together. I think Gareth Southgate in 2020, well, 2021 in particular, um, that Euros was for the taking. We should have beaten Italy. I don't think they were up to much. I think we got bullied by them, and a lot of that is on him. Semi-final is probably a minimum expectation now. So Tuchel will have to beat somebody like a Brazil. That's what we've been missing. That's what we've been lacking all these years, is to us actually beat a team like that. You know, when we get into the latter parts of the tournament, we are going to end up, and don't get me wrong, we're going to have to, come up against a France or a Spain, and that is going to be very, very difficult. But I think that the preparation, if we do beat like a Brazil, for example, or an Argentina, that will prepare us for that next step, because I think those two are probably the best in the world. So semi-final, I think, is probably a must. That is where the standard has been set. It's set higher than all those teams all those years ago, because this team do work well together.
But do you think then, like you're saying, yes, not getting to the final was on Gareth Southgate, but getting us to the final was on Gareth Southgate? He was the only manager.
Well,
No, no, he was in manager in
mm,
charge. So if he takes the brickbats when we struggle, he has to take the credit when we do well. He is the first England manager that has got us to a final since Sir Alf Ramsey. The first, first England manager to get us to a semi-final on foreign soil. If you look back, and like I say, I thought bloody hell, didn't Glenn Hoddle do well when he was England manager? Only just got us through. Didn't Bobby Robson do well as England manager? Failed to get us through to a Euros and a World Cup before Italia '90, which is the one we all remember him for. Would you sooner have had Gareth Southgate getting us through to a final and losing the final, or would you sooner have had Sam Allardyce that would have probably hoofed the ball upfield and probably got knocked out of the group stage?
Of course, you'd want Southgate.
Exactly.
But,
So,
but
to me,
there's a lot on him, because look at that Croatia game in Russia. We should have gone to that
yes,
final.
we should have. But we should have, would have, could have with any game.
Yeah.
Is Pepper shit manager?
No.
But he must be, because he didn't win the Premier League this season. Because one game he lost and he didn't pick the right players. That's football. And
true.
That to me, and I'm not going to go at you, but that to me is the entitlement of England fans. They think that we should be winning everything just because we gave the world football.
We're hungry. We're hungry for it. I think we've been so starved of it. Starved. Gosh, here we are. We're going into a bloody dark area now. We've been so starved of success for so long that it's a case nobody can bloody remember 1966 now, apart from yourself, Chris. Yeah. But in all honesty, we've just been desperate for it. We gave the world the game. We've seen France overtake us. Let's be honest, they always did well in the Euros in the past.
The thing is, though, Craig, I get what you're saying, but how must Burnley, Bolton Wanderers, Blackpool feel? Because at one point they were the top teams in the country when football first started. Now, we've seen Man United overtaking us. We've seen Liverpool overtaking us, who didn't even exist then. That's evolution.
Yeah.
Just because you invented something, and just because you gave something to the world, we I don't know if we invented cricket or not, but it was our sort of the English game, and we're pretty shit at it now. England fans to me are there thinking like, oh yes, we're in the final. We're going to win this because we are England. Oh fucking hell, Gareth Southgate's awful because he lost us the final. He got us to the fucking final. Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, no, very, very true. And yeah, you've got to give him a lot of credit. But at the same time, I think we could have done things a bit different. And I think, this World Cup, if we're in that similar sort of position, we'll be very lucky to be in that sort of position. But secondly, the fans will expect, the whole country will expect us to take it now, because we've been in there several times. Expect us to take it.
You hit the nail on the head there, mate. Expect. And Thomas Tuchel's very, very lucky that he is following Gareth Southgate in. Because look what Gareth Southgate followed in.
Well,
like Roy Hodgson and somebody who stood in for a couple of games. But he changed all that. I mean, Roy Hodgson's last game was a draw against Costa Rica. We could have only dreamed about getting to a final and losing it and coming second. Do you know what I mean?
That Iceland game, honestly.
Oh my God, I'd forgotten that one, mate.
I don't think we would have beaten Asda playing like we did that day. That was shit. That was shit with a capital S. Let alone Sainsbury's. Fucking Sainsbury's would have torn us a new one. No, I do agree.
Might have got a draw with Lidl.
Although saying that, they would have beaten us on penalties.
Probably. But I think Thomas Tuchel, I'm sorry, this is not my own personal feeling, but I'm just going off what every England fan's been saying, etc. Thomas Tuchel does not get us to the final and win it. He's failed. He's got to have done, because everybody says that Gareth Southgate failed, so surely he will have failed. if he doesn't win it, because that's what we expect. We're expecting him to
but
take
we
that
was in
next
that
step.
we was in that position. You know, to be honest, the last Euros when we were coming up against Spain, I knew Spain were going to be very, very good. You know, I'd watched Spain
Yeah,
throughout the
but
competition, but Italy were shit. Italy were terrible. But
you
you know,
know,
they haven't qualified for a World Cup for bloody
they
8 years.
They should have been down to 10 men after that guy pulled Saka back by
Oh,
a shirt.
100%.
You
Was
know,
it Gattuso, was it?
so had it been down to 10 men, we may have then won it. So, you know, look, at the end of
Yeah.
the day, you know, any final, how often have we, if finals were won because a team is deemed to be better, Leicester wouldn't have won the FA Cup. Southampton wouldn't have won the FA Cup. Wigan wouldn't have won the FA Cup. That's finals for you. That's why it happened. So I'm sorry,
Mm.
Thomas. You have got to get us to the final, and you've got to win that final. Otherwise, to me, it's failure. And also, a European team has never won it in the Americas, whether that's North or South.
Are you sure?
Yep.
No, 2014, Germany. That's the only two. That's the only one.
That must be the only one then.
Yeah, that's the only one. I remember that well because, of course, Brazil
Oh, is that the
got
7-0
absolute
Brazil?
7-1. Yes,
Yeah, the
Brazil
7.
got
Yeah,
absolutely torn a new one. That
yeah,
Germany. To be honest, though, actually, just quickly on that,
yeah.
you know, Germany, when you look at what England have done and look at what, you know, Germany did back then, maybe it is that slow progression that we're coming to, and maybe the expectation should be that we'll win it, because you look at what Joachim Low built. You know, he had a number of near misses. Yeah, you know, scratch his arse and then went, oh,
Yeah. Ooh,
fresh.
yeah.
But yeah, you look at what Joachim Low built.
Hang on, I've got to say this. I've got to thank Wayne for this. Sherlock Holmes says to Watson, "Watson, my good man, is that poo on your shoe?" No shit, Sherlock. Anyway,
Fucking terrible. Honestly, that is bloody terrible, Chris. Oh dear, oh dear.
can I say what
He's
comes
here
to
all night. He's here all night.
that?
If you,
Unfortunately, I am.
I tell you what. If you want to book him for any shows at all, you know, just get in contact with me. I'll just take a cut of 10%, and you know, you
Weddings,
can have it. You
funerals,
can have him for
birthdays,
14
bar
quid.
mitzvahs, I'm there. I'm there.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm
exactly.
going to hold that thought on the team because I want to come back to that because I have actually got a thing coming up about the team. So it's a very good point, and I want you to remember that point about the Germany, how they did it and what have you.
Mhm.
And I want to come back to that with you in a second. But these are the games for England and Scotland. And look, I mean, for fuck's sake, Scotland, bank holiday, because they've got a game that kicks off at midnight or whenever it is, or 2 a.m. UK time. I mean, and that's on the 23rd of June, and that is a 23rd of June is a Tuesday. So Monday night, Tuesday, and they're being given the bank holiday, I
So
think, on the
have they got a
Monday.
bank holiday?
The King's giving it to them because they've got a late kickoff. I mean,
Hang
I
on,
mean, I
hang
know
on, hang on,
Scotland.
hang on. I'm not having this. I'm not having this. Right, hang on, 2 seconds. Kia, why ain't we got a bank holiday? Because you think we're all out. Right, can I just say you're a wanker? Cheers, mate. There you
Once again, the views of Craig are not necessarily the views of OTID.
are.
Right.
I
I
think
mean,
it's the
look,
views of the whole country, to be honest, Chris.
no, I mean, we've done all right with that times. But I mean, I suppose in Scotland, I mean, let's be honest with you, they're not going to qualify again for 30 years. So they might as well, I guess, enjoy it. But Jesus Christ, a bank holiday because they're playing Haiti. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Well done, Scotland. Fuck's sake. But look, you've got Scotland's games there. I don't really
Yeah.
give a shit about Scotland. But look, England, Croatia is our opening game. Quite happy about that. Then Ghana, then Panama, because that's the difficult game. I think that is the toughest game in our group. I mean, Ghana, look, they got Jordan Ayew up front.
But
They're
they've
not going to
also
talk.
got Antoine Semenyo.
Well, yeah, all right. But it's not a one-man team. But no, look, are you happy with the way those games have come out?
Yeah, I am actually, because what it means is we can. I think we got to go into the Croatia and the Ghana games with our strongest team,
Yeah.
and then we can probably rotate for that Panama game. Freshen up legs, ready for the round of 32. There is that argument when we get to the round of 32. If we have the DR Congo or if we have Saudi Arabia or Algeria, do we stay rotated so
Mm.
we're fresh for, lo and behold, a Brazil or an Argentina or a Spain or a France? By the way, I really hope we do put Spain out and they don't put us out, because I really like my Spain shirts, and I'll have to just condemn them to the bottom of the wardrobe if
I'm
they
going to kick
fucking
you
beat
out
us.
next time you use that word, shirt. And
Yeah,
I got to say, this also did for me England's possible route to the World Cup final if we finish second in the group. So if England, where's it gone? If England finish second, it's a lot tougher. We are likely to play the runners-up from Group K, which could possibly be Colombia. The last 16 could see us get Spain. The
jeez.
I know. Quarter final would be Belgium or another major European nation. Belgium doesn't worry me because they've got Wout Faes and their golden generation's gone. And
Yeah,
then the semi final, France could be waiting. So
yeah.
we win the
It's
group.
imperative we win this group.
Yes, yes.
But if we're going to win it, we're going to have to beat these teams. We're going to have to beat a Spain. We're going to have to beat a France. It'll be nicer to get the easier draw. But hey, it's all about. You're going to have to come up against these big nations, and you're going to have to beat them. They're probably saying the same about us, but they seem to have more of a knack of beating us than we have a knack of beating them. That's the biggest problem with England in these big tournaments. Name the last country apart from Germany back in 2020, Chris, because Germany was shit during that competition, or was it 2018? But name the last big nation, and also ignore the Netherlands as well, because sometimes they can be a bit of a basket case. Name the last big nation like a Brazil, Argentina, Spain, France, or Germany when they were decent, that we beat at a World Cup or a Euros. And I can't think. We always seem to fall foul of them.
I mean, there, but for the grace of God, of a penalty, we could have beaten France. You say Germany was,
Yes.
but we still beat them. We still beat Germany. Um,
Mm,
and to be honest with you, I can't think who we played in
mm.
all the games and what have you. But I mean, this is the thing. It has to sort of fall in our favour. I mean, I'm just looking here. We play our first game, as you can see there, in Toronto, in Canada. So that's not too bad
Yeah.
weather-wise. Boston, that's North America. That might not be too bad. Third game is Miami, where it's going to be bloody hot.
But at the same time, that is against Panama. So I'm not
Um,
panicking too much about that.
yeah, but that's
You
what we
know,
thought about Costa Rica. We've only got to beat Costa Rica, and we're through. And we're
mate, Panama are not going to do anything. You know, famous last words. They are not going to do anything. I've got no doubt about that. I would be more concerned if I was Scotland going up against Brazil in Miami. That's going to be hot. That is going to be hot. And actually, Nate, that's a very, very, very good point. Um, Nate is spot on there. With regards to Boston, we don't seem to fare very well in that city. Don't know why. It's one of those. It's one of
I mean,
those.
to be honest with you, I'm struggling to remember a game where we actually played in Boston. I mean,
I
I know we lost the Civil War, something to do with Boston and the Tea Party, but
Jesus
I don't,
Christ.
if
What do
we
you remember that one? Do you?
I do, I was there.
Yeah, there we are. He was
If
there.
we play, if we play, um, tell me who we played. I was speaking in the 1700s. Exactly. If we played a game in Boston, we've played one, and who knows if we've lost it or not. I'm just looking
Who
here.
was it?
Panama are 33rd in the world. Costa Rica are 51st.
Was it Sweden we got beat by in Boston all those years
And
ago?
we couldn't beat that sort of a club in a World Cup in Brazil. So let's not presume we're going to beat Panama.
But this is a and Costa Rica, in my honest opinion, are better than Panama.
Right. I want to go on to the team because I asked the supercomputer to come up for me from the squad that he's taking
Pissing supercomputers.
based on his favourite formation, based on the players he likes to pick, but also based on form for the club as well. I asked supercomputer to come up with his best starting 11. Now, what I like, I mean, a lot of people, well, one or two people, not a lot. I happen to like this squad because we are doing, like you said before, and it was an excellent point you made, Craig, was that we are slowly doing what Germany were doing, with my opinion, with this squad. You know,
Yeah.
Harry Maguire's been crying into his mum's breast saying, "Oh, we're not going to go to the World Cup," and she's been, I'm sorry.
It's so eloquently.
You could be the best player in the world in England. Doesn't mean you're going to get picked. Again, that show I was watching earlier, Gascoigne was dropped. Letitia was never picked because the manager, for some reason, doesn't fancy you. You know, it's no good. You could be the best sweeper in the world playing in England and be English, but if we don't play with a sweeper, you ain't going. And this was the problem with Gerrard and Lampard. Always took the two, always played the two together because that's what we always seem to do, and they never
Yeah.
played very well together. So look, this is the team. I don't know whether we did this before, whether it was when I was on a show with you or with somebody else. I think it was somebody else, to be honest
Yeah.
with you. We've gone 4-2-3-1, which obviously I hate, but look, he's got Pickford in goal, a back four, well, the right back James, left back Livramento, two centre backs Konza and Gay, two in midfield, two holding midfielders, Rice and Anderson. Then three behind the striker, Saka, Bellingham and Gordon, and Kane up front. Now, to me, that's a nice mix of a bit of experience at both ends of the pitch and some youngsters as well who are coming through in the in the main body of the team. What do you think?
Me and Matt actually did this, and it's a show that's going live tomorrow, where we picked Thomas Tuchel's best 11, based on our thoughts. And there is actually 3 changes from the squad that's there.
Did you go for that formation?
We put, effectively the 2 on the wing. We put Bellingham in the centre like that, Rice on the right hand side of midfield, and Elliot Anderson on the left hand side. So Bellingham kind of in that gap, but of course Bellingham can move forwards. The players that were replaced, was Morgan Rogers for Anthony Gordon.
That's a fair shout. In fairness, yeah.
Nico O'Reilly instead of Livramento. I think he's had a fantastic season. And Konsa, I really like Konsa, as I do like Quansah as well, who's at Leverkusen. Konsa and Quansah, both centre-backs. But we picked John Stones for that added experience because old Slabhead's not there. So, yeah, that little bit of experience in that back line.
Again, all 3 of those I wouldn't argue with.
Yeah.
I think that they're good points. Now, I'm not saying that this was my choice. Like I say, the one I like it, Who did you have instead of Gordon?
We had Morgan Rogers.
Rogers. I probably personally would have Rogers there. But apart from that, if he started against Croatia with that team that you can see there, or in fact the one that you've named, I would not be bothered. I'd be quite happy and quite enthusiastic doing that if I saw that come up.
Yeah. To be honest, when you look at it, it's not a bad squad at all.
No. That's what I'm
Anthony
saying.
Gordon,
I think it's a great mix. He's got the experience in there. He's
yeah,
got Kane in there who you know is going to score some goals for you. But then you got Watkins who's knocking at the door. You can't just keep taking these players. And again, if you watch these videos going back, how many England managers, and Bobby Robson was one of them, where he stuck with because there were names, and Tuchel's gone,
yeah,
and he says, no, I'm going to have a mix-up, some experience, some youngsters, and fair play to him. So,
yeah,
your squad I
exactly.
like. That squad I wouldn't mind. For me, I'd probably say I can see why you've got Stones. Was it O'Reilly you said at left back? I don't really know.
Nico O'Reilly. I think he's a great player.
Yeah.
He's a great young player. So
And
yeah,
Gordon for
Morgan Rogers.
Morgan Rogers. I think Morgan Rogers will be starting if for me.
Yeah.
So, but look, just shows what a good squad we've got. Really.
Yeah. In all honesty, and I said this yesterday as well, I'm going to say it now. I think our own Alex Scott should have gone. And the reason why I say that is I believe that he would offer something
the female
different.
football presenter, do you?
No. Alex Scott, who's playing for AFC Bournemouth, the fluffy hair. Yeah, he's honestly, he's a quality player, and believe it or not, well, although I think he jumped at Ghana, Antoine Semenyo could have played for England, and honestly, I think if he was eligible for England, I think he would have got into this squad as well. Based on what he's done at Man City and with yours truly as well. So, yeah, a bit gutted Alex Scott didn't go. Who would I take out? Do you know what? A lot of people made some really good notions for Ivan Toney, that he's used to the weather, he's used to this heat. I don't rate him.
That is a question mark against Ivan Toney. Let me just say hi to Wayne, who's come in. Hi, Wayne.
Hello, Wayne.
Sir? He says, is Watkins knocking at the door and ringing the bell? Well, I tell you what, if he knows Paul McCartney, he will be. Someone's knocking at the door.
Someone's ringing the bell. Oh, who was it? Daniel Johnson, who was in the X Factors, was on that advert. I did speak to him once, believe it or not.
I'm on about the Paul McCartney song.
Oh no, I was on about the postcode lottery.
Oh my God, no God.
Oh dear.
The difference between culture and Boscombe. There you go. Right. So
you love me really, don't you, Chris?
I could have said Turling Moore, don't you knock it. Right. Moving on, let's have a look, because there's actually a lot of new rules coming in for this World Cup. And please, those days, Stu, I'll put my teeth in and try that again. Please stay tuned, because at some time during the World Cup, I'm actually going to be doing a show with Dan, the Burnley fan, and we're actually going to be looking at the rules of football as they are at the moment and what we would change. For me, I would get rid of the offside rule. So things like that are never going to happen, but things we would like
get rid of VAR.
Happen. Yeah, no, again, that's very, very good and valid point. Before we actually look at the rules changes, though, I want to do this, if you don't mind. I've just got to find it, though. Here we go.
This podcast is proud to be part of the Talksport Fan Network. Talksport. Powered by fans.
Talksport have teamed up with Aston Villa to create a fan zone for every single England game at the World Cup. And with England kicking things off against Croatia on June 17th, the excitement is building. Talksport favourite and Villa legend Gabby Agbonlahor will be there to get things started at the Midlands' brand new venue, the Warehouse, for that opening match, with massive screens and an incredible atmosphere as England begin their World Cup campaign. Any fans in the Midlands are welcome. Join TalkSport this summer and put club allegiances aside to cheer on England together and follow the World Cup with Leicester Till I Die TV, part of the TalkSport fan network. Head to talksport.com/fanzone now to grab your tickets.
Yeah, we're also part of the fan network as well.
Oh,
But
you should have had a thing asking about it then.
I didn't know about this bloody fan zone at Aston Villa. Come on, Talksport, who's bloody told me? Do you know what? I've probably not read the email, have I?
No, I'm going to say you probably haven't, knowing you. No, basically, they wrote to all the fan network members saying, are you doing England content?
Yes.
And if you replied yes, they sent you a script over, and then you get somebody to do it and what have you. So,
who did yours?
AI.
Oh, fair enough.
It's very good, actually, though. It's very
I
good.
tell you what, it is very good. I was playing earlier on about with AI. And,
You were, I know.
yes,
I'm
Chloe.
have a word. My girlfriend's AI. You weren't playing around with Craig, were you? Oh, you were. Oh, stop it. He's a very
Chris.
naughty man.
Chris, can you play the old Chloe video if I send it to you?
He has got. Yes, he has got two chins. You're right. Yes. Anyway,
I tell you what, play the Chloe video.
No. This is a World Cup. You're not derailing me. This is a World Cup. So these are the new rules.
Right. Okay. Go on.
So, and again, when you watch these videos about the past, the last time it was in America, which I think was '96, something like that. Jack
94.
94. Jack Charlton had a round. Yes, it was, because '96 it came home, didn't it?
Yes.
94, Jack Charlton, because England hadn't qualified under Bobby Robson, believe it or not. But they weren't allowed hydration breaks, and he was giving his players drinks of water, and I think he got sent off, and he went absolutely mad. And they did cave in the end, because he said, "Look, if you don't, somebody's going to die." 3-minute hydration breaks midway through each half. I think that's becoming the norm now. It's happening in this country, and I'm all for that. Are you?
Fatigue is part of the game. Fatigue is part of the game, and as long as it's not a strategically placed. So, say for example, we're on top of Argentina, and they decide, we're going to have a water break just now, and then of course it spins the game on its head. It has to be at a set time.
Yeah, the referee will decide. It's it's midway, so it's 22 and a half minutes.
Can you imagine though if the referee decided had full decision on that? Argentina, Batistuta and Diego Simeone would be going in their ear all fucking game.
How would it be going?
That's what they'd be doing. Those two. I cannot stand either of those two.
No.
Diego Simeone and Batistuta can go fuck themselves.
But the thing is, it was 20. It's all right. You going off at a T junction. I would never have expected it. No, look. All joking aside, it's at 22 and a half minutes, but they can't suddenly stop it if they're running towards the goal.
Yeah.
It has to be. I think they look at 22 minutes. The next time it goes out of play, it has to go out of play, I think. Or it has to maybe be in the centre part when, nobody's getting an advantage, they stop. And I think that is quite right, in countries where it is fucking hot. I love this as well, so therefore not the England. I love this one as well. Throw-ins and goal kicks must be taken within 5 seconds. Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes, 100%. Yes.
Should bring it. That should be in the Premier League as well. I think it needs to be sped up. There There should be less time wasting.
Yes. I think as well, most things that kind of start in the World Cup quite often end up in national leagues as well.
They do, yes.
But that one, I mean, what I'd also like to see in throw-ins is none of. I mean, somebody goes to take a throw-in and they're walking up to take it like, then you've suddenly gone 12 yards further up the field or whatever. The referee says, right, no, you go back to where it was to be taken. And then they still take a couple of steps forward to throw it. That shouldn't be allowed either.
Yeah.
I don't think. So, yeah, I think we're both agreed on that one. 10 seconds to leave. Substituted players have 10 seconds to exit the pitch. 100%. Look, we've all seen, for me, I don't know if you agree on this, but we've seen it where a player should go off by the nearest exit. But, so if he's nearer the far side, he goes off at the far side. And how often do, you're 1-0 up as a team and you see a substitute comes up in the 93rd minute. You're not going to give a player 93, a minute or two to play. It's because the guy's going to trot off like that and it's going to break play up and what have you.
Yeah.
Again, 10 seconds, I'm all for that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
Thank God we're agreeing on too much here, Craig.
I know, it's weird.
I love this one as well. 1 minute treatment rule. Players receiving treatment must stay off the field for 1 minute.
Will they have to wait for a break in play before they come on?
No,
That's
they
the
don't at the
question.
moment, do they? If they go off now, as soon as the referee notices that they're ready.
Where do they go for the treatment? Do they go, is it situated on the halfway line? You know where I'm going with this? Because if they're brought back on, there's a team, the minute's up, the team's on the offensive, the player comes on by the goal mouth and then, does a diving header and prevents a goal. That is, it depends where they're going to come on.
I would
it's not managed by
guess
the referee.
that if you've taken a player off and they're that injured, they should be getting treatment at whatever point they've gone off.
Yeah, of course. Apart from head injuries, that's the one.
Yeah, of course.
One.
Yeah.
Or
taken off in the opposition
he's
half.
all right, but Ericsson, for example.
If you're taken off in the opposition half, and we wish Christian Eriksen all the best, by the way.
Yeah.
If you're taken off in the opposition half, that's where you come back on. So if the opposition's then attacking you, you're at the wrong end of the pitch, but so be it. I think they should also make a rule about if you do go down, then you go straight off anyway, so you're not breaking the play up. But now this is a joke. Only the captain may approach the referee to question decisions. Other players who do so may receive a yellow card. I thought we bought
Argentina would be fucked then, wouldn't they?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, well, all South Americans, you're right. I thought they'd done that years ago in the Premier League, but now again, I'm all for that.
Yes, so am I.
Yeah. Expanded VAR. VAR can now review second yellow cards and corner kicks for clear and obvious errors.
Yes, I'm with that. Yeah, I'm with that.
As long as it's quick, I don't want to be waiting 5 minutes for a decision on a corner kick.
No. I think they're gonna have enough people on the ball ready to make the.
We're on the ball.
Yeah. We're on the ball. That's such a shit song. World in Motion is the best one.
I would also like to see VAR. I think you should be able to. I think VAR officials at the end of the game go off, do whatever you want, and the next day watch the game all the way through. And if you see a player going down and rolling over 10 or 11 times when he's hardly been touched, yellow card.
Yeah.
For me, but anyway, the expanded VAR, I think we're okay as long as it's right. Countdown timers. I think we've already said that one.
Yeah, that's effectively like number 2. So I'm in agreement with that.
Number 8. Wow. Players covering their mouths during confrontations risk a red card. about this.
Oh, this is a controversial point
Mm.
because at the end of the day, I know why they're bringing this in. It's to stamp out racism, which is, right that they do that. Stop that. They stop abuse on the pitch. Whereas if your players going like this, they could be saying that Chris is a wanker. Um, but no,
But
joking aside, but they could be
that
saying
is
whatever they
fact, to
want.
be honest with you. Yeah.
But the thing is if they are actually, and we've seen this, we see this in the Premier League all the time, when a player goes like this, and before taking a free kick, that should be allowed. That's part of the game. It's two teammates communicating, working out what they're going to do. That should be allowed.
See, look,
I still think, actually, covering the mouth. I know why it's brought in. Racism shouldn't be an issue nowadays. It's embarrassing that it is still an
is
issue
it
in the
because
world.
of racism, though?
Abuse. But then again, there is heat at the moment. Football is a men's game. You know, as long as it doesn't stray into racism or anything that is, discriminatory. We know where we're going with that.
Mm.
As long as it doesn't stray into that, if a player calls another player a fat wanker or something on the pitch, it should be a case of right, okay, it's a bit of abuse, but it is heat of the moment. Um,
I,
it's one of those. It's
this
one of
is a
those.
this is a difficult one. I mean, when you've got two players taking a free kick, right?
Oh, most definitely, they should be able to do that.
Well, do you need to?
Yes, yes, because you don't want the opposition to actually guess. If you cover
Well,
your mouth
we
and you
just
fire it into the top corner and the opposition don't work out, I think that's fair game. I
no.
think that's fair game.
I'm talking to you here. We're both on the same team. We're both wearing red, and we go. We've got a free kick, and I can go up to you saying, "Craig, put it in the top corner, right hand corner. He's not very good on that side." Who's going to hear that apart from you?
True, but they could lip read.
Oh, well, then in that case, you
You'd
get
have to turn your back. If you turn your back to them, you wouldn't have to do that, would you?
No,
And then I stick it in the top corner because I got silky skills. Well, I don't think either of us are going to be fucking any good, to be honest. Nowadays, are we?
well, what can I say?
Oh, he's going to turn around and say he could play a bit. Could you play a bit?
Me? No, I can't play at all.
No, there we are.
Right. So I just need to send that message. Yeah. No, I don't get that one at all. I think that's been a bit OTT, to be honest with you.
No
The
worries.
last couple here, number 9, walk-off sanctions. Teams leaving the pitch in protest can face disciplinary action. I don't think that goes far enough. I think teams leaving the pitch in protests should be thrown out of the competition. Spygate.
Yeah, Spygate. Yeah. It depends what it's for. If somebody's been racially abused and a team exit the pitch, then I think that's just as I think that's justified. I think if you are just going to exit the pitch because you're not happy with the decision that's happened on the pitch, and we saw this in the African Cup of Nations, then I completely agree with you on
I
that one.
think Kuwait did it once in a World Cup, or Saudi Arabia as well. Because
Walking off the pitch because you don't like an on-field decision is
Now, to
stupid.
me,
But if it is racism or
no,
something like that, then I think every justification, and I think that
no, I would
FIFA
disagree
have
with
to.
you there. No, I would
They
disagree.
have to.
There.
I think they
No.
have to, mate.
All right, let me just say, 100%, I am totally against racism. I don't, there should be no place for it. I think we're all agreed on that.
Yeah.
But we have just seen recently the easiest thing to do is to say, "Oh, racism." Oh, somebody in the crowd just threw a banana at me or whatever. You're adult. Get on with it. Or stop the game and go, Mr. Referee,
Yeah,
you heard that. I mean, they're supposed to be able to. They've got microphones all around the bloody pitch. They can pick up when a goalkeeper farts. So they can pick up, and they've got
yeah.
cameras all around the pitch. It's the most televised tournament in the world, apart from possibly the Olympics. They can pick it up, and it's so easy. Oh, he's being racist. I'm going
I,
off.
I know where you're going with that, and of course, it's a big news story at the moment, and it's not far from here. Um, I think that the biggest problem with that situation was how the police handled it. Not really,
No,
you
no,
know.
no, no, no. I'm not saying that
Yeah,
at all. I mean, that particular one. Yeah, we all know what we're
yeah,
talking about with Southampton in Southampton and what have you. No,
yeah.
that's not, what I'm saying is, generally speaking, you shout racism and the police are knocking on the door. It's the
Mm,
easiest get out for people is to say he was being racist to me. If you come up to me as a West Indian, and I don't want to get political again here at all, if you come up and say, "Oh, Chris, you're a white ponce, aren't you? You bloody white wanker and what have you," is that not being racist?
yeah, of course it is.
Of
Of
course it
course
is.
it is. It
Exactly.
goes both. It goes both ways. But like I say, with that situation,
With that
that was how the
situation,
police. That was the
yeah,
police how they handled it. What they
but
should have done was when they got there, they should have
yeah,
sorted and helped
let's
the
not
lad,
let's
and
not get
then
into
worried
that
about
because
everything
yeah,
else.
that sort
Yeah,
of, like I say, is news and political and what have you. But
yeah.
I agree. That is the thought that kind of in people's minds. But I'm just
Oh, he's frozen.
saying generally, if you've got a problem, am I back?
You froze there for a second. I tell you what. I tell you what. It was really weird. You just start going. So- oh, he's done it again. Hang on. It's like ET.
You
Eating the phone now.
no, but if the fact, look, as football players, I was watching Jamie Vardy's podcast earlier,
Yeah.
and he says they said, like, should abuse be banned at football grounds, and he says no, bring it on, because it's a thing that made me play better. I'd have more of it. He said I'd probably get arrested every game. He said, but I'd have more of it. You can't. And in fairness, you can't do what Cantona did, and he quite rightly got banned for that.
Yes. Yes.
But if you're getting racism from the ground, you're a fucking adult, take it and complain about it at half time, or an adult. It's
Mm.
like, what's the difference between that and people shouting, Jamie Vardy, your wife's a snitch? Yeah, I
No.
mean, it's for you complain to the referee. The referee
Yeah.
will complain to the fourth official, who'll take it higher and maybe make an announcement on the ground, and then the referee can say, "Right, we're taking the players off for 10 minutes or whatever." That's
I
the
think.
referee's decision. Then,
Yeah. I think I've got to disagree with that. If somebody is being racist from the crowd to a particular player, I think that they are very justified. Of course, earlier on in the season, Antoine Semenyo had it playing for us, and he had every right to be aggrieved. And to be honest, it was handled impeccably by Liverpool, and it was handled impeccably by the referee. But it shouldn't be happening. You
no,
cannot
I mean, yeah,
you cannot take something like that. Of course, there is always going to be fans that sing, songs at players.
please don't
We've
sing
got
any.
very
Don't sing any.
we've got and to be honest, I don't really like this song actually.
Please don't
Um,
sing it.
but-
Please don't
no, I'm
sing
not
it.
gonna. No, I'm not gonna sing it. I'm not gonna sing it. But it's all about Ryan Fraser, and
No
I,
idea
I
who it
don't
is. But
I don't like it. It goes along the lines of we're going to have a
There is,
party.
there is.
I've met you, Ryan Fraser.
Don't even say anything.
But
You know what YouTube's like. I
but
just think,
racism. No, I can understand if a team want to walk
no,
off the
you don't.
pitch
You don't. You
because of
should
that.
not walk off for any reason. If you are not happy with something, you go to the referee.
And then the referee has to do something.
Then
If
the
the
referee
referee
has to
doesn't
do
do
something.
something,
Yes.
then there's a problem.
If that is, I mean, was it England when we played Bulgaria, and
Yeah.
the referee stopped the match? It did continue later, but no, I'm sorry. All right, you shouldn't have to take it. That we agree on. But you should take it because you know that the guy's a keyboard warrior. He's only shouting because he's in a crowd of 20,000 people and he thinks he can
Yeah.
get away with it. But like I say, microphones can pick these things up. They've got cameras all over. They'll be able to sort of zone in on them if they really wanted to. I think it's a case of how serious do the FIFA, UEFA, Premier League, and all the others take it. But you say to the referee, "I'm getting racially abused." He can stop the game, and he can go over to the fourth official or whoever and go, "This is going on," and then there's an announcement made. If it then carries on and he goes, "Oh, it's still going on," he stops the game and says, "Right, guys, off for 10 minutes." That's the referee's decision.
Fuck an announcement. Get the person out of the crowd and
Well,
out
yes,
the
again,
stadium.
yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Not an announcement. Announcement won't do
Yeah.
anything. In fact, an announcement sometimes makes it bloody worse at some stadiums.
Yeah, but you have to, it's like you can't just sack somebody, you have to give them a couple of warnings.
Well, no, not for racism. They can go straight out the door.
No, let me announce it, but yes, you're right. Try and find the guy at the same time.
Yeah.
Now, the guy has probably run round the corner and hidden on a different seat or something, but, I agree. But it has always got to be down to the referee. As Wayne said there, that's a great way to deal with it, Chris. I think, look, it's opinions. I think so.
I'm not being funny. I'm not being funny. As a manager,
No, you're never funny, mate.
if somebody was racist and it was proven to me, and of course there is that proof, you can't just turn around and say, sack somebody for, if it was proved, they wouldn't last 30 seconds. They would be out the door, gone, gross misconduct, and that rule should apply to all layers, of society, in and out of football.
Yeah, but if you're going to go off the pitch, it has to be down to the referee. Has to make that decision. Hello there, Retivan traditional 455. I'll call you 4554. It's easy. Back in it says a lot about South Coast clubs like today, like Brighton and Bournemouth. That none of the players made it into the England squad. Back in the day, you had South Coast legends like Letizia. Letizia made it into very, very few England squads. He played in the B team. I was watching a video earlier. He actually hardly made it. And unfortunately, you have to say two things on that. Either one, the players aren't good enough, and just because they're in your team does not make them good enough, or B, the manager does not fancy them in his team. Hoddle did not take Gascoigne to the World Cup because he didn't think Gascoigne's head was in the right place. We all know it probably wasn't, actually. It was, in a pint of beer somewhere, allegedly. But it's down to the managers. I'm sorry, you don't think you're not going to drop the best players and go, I'm going to pick these players just because they play for Brighton or Bournemouth or Leicester, whoever.
No, it seems to be the other way. In all honesty, I think that sometimes managers are a little bit blinkered. Maybe they should look at more of their resources, further down the pyramid.
The thing is, if a player is playing for, and I get what you're saying, but if a player generally is playing for Chelsea, Man City, or Liverpool or Arsenal, he's going to be better than a player playing for Wolves, Crystal Palace, possibly, Southampton. You're going to
Not necessarily.
Well, yeah, because they're playing for a better team. So you would hope that they would be better. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been bought if they weren't any good.
No, of course, those players will be bought, but Elliot Anderson plays for Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, no.
Nottingham Forest,
and I
big
think you could
club,
argue that Tuchel's changing that.
Yeah. Alex Scott,
but-
if he got in there, I think it would be justified. It shouldn't be based on Bournemouth and Forest are small clubs. It should be based on the talent. Elliot Anderson's been lucky enough to get in.
You you could argue that Bournemouth aren't a small club this season because look, they got into Europe, and fair play to
No,
them.
we're still small.
You know.
We're still
Oh,
small.
yeah, but your players have got you into Europe.
Oh, it's amazing.
You know,
Absolutely amazing.
now you know
Yeah.
you. But all this sort of like, not picking players from our team. He's the manager. If he doesn't fancy you, why didn't Letizia go play more for England A team? He got a hat trick for England B just before Hoddle named one of his World Cup teams, and Hoddle didn't pick him. Now,
There
this is because, let me finish. This is because, according to the video I saw earlier, maybe Hoddle was a little bit jealous of him. Because Hoddle didn't get picked an awful lot, and he was one of our best players. But he wasn't really picked because we don't like these really good players. But at the end of the day, the manager picks who he wants to pick. I think the fact that we're seeing a
Yeah.
Nottingham Forest, a Crystal Palace, and these sort of clubs in there, but don't keep. It does annoy me when you say, "Oh, should we be picking players from this team or that team?" Well, why? Why should they? It's the manager's choice, and the manager will pick the players that fit into his formation. Again, I'll take this back.
Good point here, though. Good point here. That's been made. Alex Scott has had a better season than Cole Palmer. I think he's had a better season than Ivan Toney.
In whose opinion?
Well, it's proven he's had a great season.
Bournemouth fans. I'm not saying he hasn't. Because obviously I've not been following the Premier League. He may well have done, but in two Bournemouth fans' opinions, he has. However, you're not picking the England team.
Yeah.
The guy that's picking the England team is Thomas Tuchel, and he prefers Palmer, and that is totally within his right to do so.
This guy might not be a Bournemouth fan, but honestly, I think that Alex Scott has had a better season.
By your channel, so I think he probably
better than Ivan Toney. Not necessarily. We have fans from all sorts of clubs, but yeah, moving on.
But you see what I mean? Lampard and Gerrard, both brilliant players. We know that they couldn't play together, but they were picked because of their names. The manager should pick.
Yeah.
The England manager's job is very easy. He basically says, "This is my first formation. This is it. So this is all going to be the formation I prefer. These are the best, in my opinion, as the manager. This is my best. This is my best 11 for fitting into that position. Oh, why haven't you taken player X? Because he's a sweeper, and I don't play a fucking sweeper in my position. So why am I taking him?" Do you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, we always have this argument with England managers. They pick the best players that fits into their formations at the end of the day. And Craig is not getting off the Alex Scott Express. Believe you me, no, he's not.
I think he's brilliant. I think he's brilliant.
And of course you would, because he wears a red and black shirt.
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
moving swiftly on.
Yes, because you're losing. Number 10, medical delays reduced. Mandatory off-field treatment periods aim to cut time wasting. I think once you go off the field, the game should go on.
Yeah, I think so. Unless it's a head injury, to be honest, that's a bit of a nothing rule. To be perfectly honest, if you come off the pitch, the game continues. You come on the pitch after a minute, job done. That's how it should be. I don't think anything's really changed there, to be honest.
Yeah. Let me just go back. I'm sorry, he's brought it up again. Tielemans, when he played for Leicester, was picked by Belgium. Tielemans, when he was playing for Aston Villa, was picked by Belgium. If Scott was playing for Southampton, I don't think that would guarantee that he would be picked. If he was playing for Manchester City, yes, he may be picked because he's been surrounded by better players and you would hope that his game would improve. But for every Alex Scott, there's a Jack Grealish.
I don't get this. I don't get this. At the end of the day, you get picked for the country on merit. You could be the best player in a really shit squad. You could be best player in a squad that gets relegated. Michael Owen, of course, was at Newcastle, I believe, when they went down. It didn't make him a bad player. It was just that,
It was
there
a
was
bad
so much,
squad, otherwise they wouldn't have gone down.
it was just because they were a bit of a mess at the time. So, in all honesty, if Alex Scott, it deserves. I think Alex Scott deserves to be on that plane, like Elliot
Because you're a
Anderson deserves
Bournemouth
to be on that
fan.
plane.
You're a Bournemouth fan, so of course you would.
It
But
doesn't matter
you're
who
not picking.
they're playing for. You
You're
know,
not picking the English. It doesn't go on who
hey,
they're playing for.
right.
We've
Here we
always
go.
had this
Right,
argument.
here we go. Here we go. Say, for example, Barcelona.
Maguire. Why isn't
Let's
Maguire going?
hang on. Let's take Barcelona. Marcus Rashford is playing for Barcelona, right? He is surrounded by, a fair chunk of the Spanish team who
Yeah.
are bloody good. We know that. If Marcus Rashford was a load of shite, he does not deserve to go to the World Cup because he's played with all the Spanish lot. He should be, and he's gone to the World Cup because he's done it on merit, because he has pulled his weight. But if the whole thing still stands, if I was playing for Barcelona and I wasn't actually performing in that Barcelona team, but I was somehow getting my game, I do not deserve to go to a World Cup. It is dependent.
No.
You can be in a little team and do really well and get to go. You could be in a big team like a Barcelona and not deserve to go.
I'm sorry. I've got to say one word: bollocks. we're gonna die on this hill, mate. We're gonna die on this hill.
Move swiftly on.
No. I'm replying to you because when Marcus Rashford was
This
at
is a battle now.
when Marcus Rashford was at Manchester United, as shit as Manchester United were, he was shit. He got better because he went to Barcelona. A player can play for a club. Look, we've got Jeremy Monga, wonder kid apparently, 15, 16, well, 16 years now. He will not develop at Leicester. But if he goes to an Arsenal, goes to Man United, they have better coaches, they have better facilities, he will develop better there. Harry Maguire has had a fucking brilliant season for Manchester United. Why isn't he going?
It's preference, but if
It's
Jeremy Monk,
exactly. No, stop there. It's preference, exactly. And it's Tuchel's preference as to who he picks. Every fan, if I was doing this with Doug would. There's no Liverpool fan players going, I don't believe, on the mic. I don't know.
we're not going to agree on this one. But if Jeremy Monga
No, but you've just said it
scored
yourself, it's
55 goals,
preference.
hang on. If Jeremy Monga scored 55 goals and was absolutely outstanding, he deserves to go to the World Cup. That is it. It doesn't matter who he plays for. If he plays for
No.
Leicester City, Accrington Stanley, or Real Madrid.
If he doesn't fit? What if he doesn't fit into the England manager's formation?
Well, that's a different scenario.
No, it's not. It's not. It's the same argument. You've just shot yourself down twice there. First of all, you said it's preference, 100%. And I'm not saying Alex Scott is not a good player, but it is Tuchel's preference not to take him. And Bournemouth fans will go, boo-hoo-hoo, why aren't they taking a Bournemouth player? Like I say, I haven't followed the Premier League, so I can't say if A's better than B or B's better than D. I don't know. If he's had a good season and Bournemouth as a club have had a great season with where you are, well done. However, it's down to Thomas Tuchel. He will look at player A and he will look at player B. And he goes, for what I am looking for, I prefer him to Scott. Fine. However, if you were saying, as you were saying with Monga there, if he's scoring those goals, and we need a goal scorer, he might look at him and go, oh, yeah, he scored a lot of goals. But hang on a second. No, he's coming in from the right. And he's not really the best player coming in from the right. I prefer this player. It's all about preference. And like I said, the England manager has got the best job because he just picks his formation and then puts round pegs in round holes. You're going to get Liverpool players. Man United fans are going to be saying, well, Harry Maguire should have gone. Bournemouth fans are saying Alex Scott should have gone. No, It's down to Thomas Tuchel. Yeah, exactly.
We
We'll move on.
we
We'll move on.
agree. We agree to disagree on this one.
We do. But we all know that every fan of every club will be going, "Oh, this player should have been in there." No, because if he wanted to be in there, he would have been in there because Thomas Tuchel would have picked him, and Thomas Tuchel hasn't picked him because it's down to preference. Is it not? Is it not down to the manager? Who picks the?
Yeah, the manager picks it, but like I say, he's
And therefore it's his
I am
team.
not going to. Yeah,
Okay. Who picks?
anyway, they agree to disagree.
Who picks the Bournemouth team?
Well, Andoni Iraola did it last year.
Well, he did when he was there, obviously. Exactly. And if you go up and say, "I'm a Bournemouth fan, Mr. Areola, I think you should be picking Prayer Z," and he goes, "Yeah, but he's shit in training and what have you," that's his decision, not yours, not the fans' decision. We all have our favourites. I don't know why Cifuentes, King, and Rowett were picking some of the dross that they were picking week in, week out for Leicester. But they
Wow.
were. I wanted other players, but it's not our decision. So,
Yes.
all I know
Moving
is
swiftly on.
that I am right and you are wrong, and that's the end of it. This
No,
is the best
I'm
thing for
right.
the World Cup.
No.
We will agree to disagree.
Yes.
If
Right.
anybody's watching, we love ourselves and hate each other. We're actually going down the
Yes.
pub on Sunday night, so God knows we'll have a few drinks with us. What will happen there? France and Spain, joint favourites.
Yes. Not surprised by that at all. I would have said Spain probably more than France, are probably more favoured. But France have got some great players. Michael Olise, of course, we know Mbappe, don't we? The quality they've got is very, very good. I think Spain just edge it for me. They're going to be the team to beat. But 6-1, we're right up there. We've got a chance. We've got a chance.
This
I'm
was done
hoping.
by William Hill, and you can see, guys, the date and time it was done. So if it's not up to date, that's fine. And we have to say this, by the way, guys. If you are short of money or need money, gambling is not the answer.
No.
Do not use gambling as a way to try and raise money. And literally, when the fun stops, stop. Gambleaware.com
Yes.
or gambleaware.org for more information. England, we shouldn't be third. I don't think we should be third at all.
Why not?
Probably because we're fourth in the world. But
Portugal, I don't think should be that high up.
No,
Argentina should probably be a little bit shorter odds, and then the rest, I don't think it's that far up.
Not sure about that. Norway should be higher just because of the home shirt, mate.
If anybody wants a bet, Morocco.
I agree.
Morocco, that's where the money is.
We actually agree totally on that.
Fuck me.
Morocco's 50
Jesus
to 1.
Christ.
That is worth having a bet on, 50 to 1.
Yeah.
Scotland, sorry guys, if there's any Scots watching, 150 to 1. Yes.
Yeah. Iran's not even on there.
No. But can I just say, by the way, that I love Iran. I think they'll do really well in this World Cup.
Bollocks, will they? They have to travel to every fucking game. It's like fucking going all the way. It's like going to fucking Barrow every fucking day.
I'm not upsetting any Iranians that are watching. All right, let me just put that out there. Iranians are my friends.
No, I'm not knocking Iranians. I'm just saying the bloody World Cup and the mess that they're in. Is
that went completely over your head, didn't it? There.
What's that?
That joke. Why did I'm bringing it up Iran because I didn't want them to. Oh, never mind. But Scotland are there with Paraguay and Canada. Again, that's probably could be because of the group that are in. I would have an outside bet on Morocco, to be honest with you. And Japan's not bad at 50 to 1 either.
think Japan would be Mexico 66-1. Mexico, Croatia 80-1. Croatia, of course, Croatia have done very well at World Cups in the past. I think they'd have to spring a surprise to do something at this one, but it's not beyond any. Sweden, I don't know why they're even that high up. They've got Graham Potter in fucking charge, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
They might as well have Scott the Beer Man Parker in charge there. So yeah, I don't think the odds are that bad, but yeah.
Yeah. Right, sir. There we go. That's the end of the end of the
thank fuck for that. I said thank fuck for that. Bloody hell. We've disagreed so much. Bloody hell.
No, we agreed a lot at the start. We agreed. No. Hey, look,
love
football is all about disagreements and banter, and at the end of the day, like I say, we're going down the pub on Sunday and we'll still be friends. And we're back tomorrow.
Mate, exactly. We are back tomorrow. It's only going to be a short one. It's going to be a short one.
It will be a short one.
No, I'm going to time you. I'm going to time you, restrict you.
I mean, I don't see the point in doing one tomorrow because nothing will have happened between now and then.
Well, we're going to just discuss that one game and then, so it's going to be short. It's going to be short.
We'll be short. A bit like you. We'll be short.
I am 6 foot.
Oh, are you? Oh, Kelly, your partner must have meant something else there when she said.
Here we go.
But okay, mate. Thanks. Look, whether you were watching Up the Cherries in all departments or whether you were watching LTID TV, whichever, do subscribe. Shows are going to be all over the place because, the World Cup and everything. So click that notification bell. Give your support. Like it. Whichever channel you're watching, like the video, share it, and like we say, subscribe to both channels as well. If you're a Bournemouth fan, subscribe to Leicester. Leicester fans, subscribe to Up the Cherries in all departments. And we will see you tomorrow at 6:00.
Yes, we will do. See you tomorrow at 6.
Thanks to everybody that has been in the chat. Take care, Nate, yourself, and we'll see you. See you tomorrow at 8:00. I just need to press the right button, which is this one, I believe. Here we go.
It's the World Cup Roundup Show,
where the drama's bound to flow.
with Foz and Bees who will try to please. It's the World Cup 26. From last-minute winners to amazing screamers,
We'll bring you all the fun until the World Cup is done.
VR is in control.
Watch the manager's eyes roll
From England dreams
to red card scenes.
Foz and Bees are saying goodbye.
Thanks for watching all the highs.
We'll catch you next time somehow
On the World Cup Roundup Show.
Some people are on the pitch, they think it's all over. It is now.